What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to a brand new video. Now, today we're going to be doing a Rainbow Six Siege. We broke down the first soundtrack. Now we're going to break down my favorite season. Then we're going to go backwards and break down the other operations, obviously known as seasons or whatever. We're going to break down Operation Skull Rain, which was when I was introduced to the game when I first played, so it's only fair to break down that, then go back and through Operation Dustline, Operation Black Ice, etc., etc., etc. I think they integrated, but you know what I mean. Then we're going to continue it forward to get year one, year two, year three, so on and so forth. So we've got a hell of a series to break down. We've got 10 years in the making, ladies and gentlemen. But without further ado, let's get into this. There's not a whole lot of there's nothing really much that's happening uh till we get to about a minute in, and that's where stuff starts to happen. So right away we're playing the main theme, right? What Siege is known for, what Rainbow Six is known for, the theme, right? We carry that forward into Skull Rain. So we have a bass, the boom, that which is kind of an introduction, right? Right away, it's in your face. So in kind of like an electronic, or maybe like obviously it's a synthesizer. So in a synthesizer, we're playing the main theme. That theme there is playing it. Same like with Assassin's Creed. A lot of the Assassin's Creed games open up with the Ezio family played differently. Then we hear some tap-ins, which is a representation on Brazilian instruments and Brazilian culture, right? So we have to pay homage to that because Caveira and I'm forgetting the other guy that was released. But there was two operators released. Cav and there was another guy as well. I'm just forgetting. Post in the comments down below. I'm just having a brain fart. But there was two operators. They were obviously both Brazilian. So with this in mind, you have to pay homage. You have to pay kind of homage to Brazilian culture, and that's what we get with the tap-ins. A lot of it right now is just drone, right? Ambience, kind of building up the backlog. There's not a whole lot happens until we get about a minute in. Then a lot starts to happen. Then we see. So a lot of this is a very slow build out, which would make sense because this is obviously the main music theme, but it's the theme before you press in and load in. So it's kind of like the main lobby theme as well. So right here as well, we're starting to see the setting of kind of like a military kind of operative kind of spy-esque nature of this soundtrack. Very minimalistic as well. A bit of percussion built in. That there, to me, that boom, like that, is the starting of something grand. That's the keynote to the build up that's inevitably going to happen with this. Because the instrumentation changes. So there's a lot of guitars, but a lot of it is electronic, so it's synthesized. It's very minimalistic, this approach. The beginning is paying homage to the original soundtrack, which it's fair enough, right? You pay homage, you do what you gotta do. And plus it's one of the most recognizable soundtracks in the franchise, right? Even though it's not a franchise, but with the uh, seasonal content, then it kind of is. With that being said, when you look at paying homage, then we get some Brazilian representation in terms of the instruments and the instrumentation. You can't base something in Brazil. Have the characters, have the map. Favela. Play. It's all Brazil. It's a Brazilian theme. And not have Brazilian kind of instrumentation in the beginning, right? Then we hear some of the some of the percussion playing. The percussion is, but it's all kind of digitally played out. Whereas in the original score, and even in the score that I was recommended and broke down, there's some back and forth. Uh, but it looks like a lot of this has been passed through to a synth filter and is like being played, which I like because a lot of my compositions come from synthesizers, and I like synthesizers. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying as analysis and breaking it down, that's what it is. The guitar's playing there. There's a bit of sound effects, some risers built in. Dynamics coming in. And that's the loop around there. That's the loop around there. So it's fulfilling the loop of constantly replaying if you're stuck in the main menu long enough. Some keywords, ladies and gentlemen: risers, minimalistic, and homage. It felt like to me that it was just a checkbox, right? And it's not. This score isn't as big or as like important per se as the original soundtrack, right? It's just you know, there is some notes that as a player you'd go, yeah, you know, they're keeping the homage, they're keeping the theme. But I think it just did enough to where it was interesting. Right? It's 2 minutes and 29. Right? And sometimes you get uh you know, a job to do as a composer and you do that job. So I don't think this is one of the most iconic. I think it was certainly an iconic season in terms of like content. It was huge. But in terms of the score, I don't think it was big as the original, or let's just say the other seasons, like when I was reacting to the other Rainbow Six Siege piece of content. But ladies and gentlemen, that's just my opinion. I think certainly minimalistic does pass at certain points as well. So if we're learning, you know, we're all aspiring to be composers here. Make sure that like if you want it, you can create a minimalistic score and still be good enough for a AAA studio with a AAA game. But ladies and gentlemen, that's just my views. That's just my opinions. Post down in the comments your opinions and your recommendations. What should I react to next, ladies and gentlemen, for a chance for your comment to be pinned in a future video. Without further ado, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe.